Welcome to Bronstead Place. Today, we're taking a look at Phantasy Star Online 2, a new-to-you MMORPG. On this channel, we typically like to take a look at things through the lens of someone with limited time, limited skill, or limited resources. Since this is just a preview video, I will be shortening a lot of that, but I will be using it in our comparison video next week, comparing Phantasy Star Online 2 to Bless Unleashed, both available on the Xbox. So check that out next week. Stay subscribed to be notified. For now, let's dive right in. Phantasy Star Online 2 was released on the 4th of July in 2012, so why all the hype right now? Well, it was just released into open beta in North America. That means that we finally have a way to play the game in English. Now, a lot of people have found ways over the last 7 or so years to log into Phantasy Star Online 2 in the Japanese servers, you have VPN or what have you, but there hasn't been an official way to play the game until now. While it's currently only available on the Xbox, there are plans to make it available on the PC and potentially other places as development continues. Of course, this release is going to happen at some point, so if you really want to get in, now's your chance with the open beta. You may have seen some footage of me playing the open beta. It went okay. I'm not great at games, hence this channel. But I did enjoy myself, so I want to talk about what I learned. A lot of the footage you'll see in this video is from my first 15 or so hours with the game. Now, some of those hours were spent on the character creator, so didn't spend all my time wisely, but I still got a good amount of variety here. Just what you've seen so far in this video, you could probably tell that Phantasy Star Online 2 caters to a specific type of player, meaning it's anime style. It's a waifu generator, right? It's an Eastern MMO. It's kind of what you expect. A lot of people can ignore the art style and the character type for a fantastic gameplay loop, and certainly there is a strong gameplay loop here, but everything is over-the-top anime. At some points, you're watching an anime. There's these action scenes kind of coming in from the side. There's a lot of big bang and flashes. Waifus galore, right? It's anime. If you don't like that style, you may not like this game. Almost every NPC in the game is voice acted, so it really helps with the immersion. You can feel like you're playing out your character, that you're involved with others in this world, and that's great. It is, again, anime style, over the top, and in English, so you've got those three things to deal with there. So again, you don't like those, this could be a little bit tougher of a playtime for you, but in general, it's good. That voice acting throughout the game prevents you from having to read walls and walls of text just to understand you've got to go kill 5 pigs. You'll get that right off the bat. The gameplay loop is going on expeditions with a large list of orders that you've got to fulfill. I mean, right now, the quest system allows for me to take on 50 quests at once, and I actually do have the majority of that filled up. So I go on these expeditions, I complete all the orders, come back, get the experience. That's the core gameplay loop. Expeditions are kind of what you expect. They're a world you go and visit to do these quests in. You've got your jungle, you've got your snow-covered landscape, your lava land, your desert island that's all covered in sand and rocks. It's all there. It's all the typical worlds. But despite being the kind of typical or cliche worlds, they still have a Phantasy Star aesthetic to them. If you've played other Phantasy Star games, you'll understand what I mean. It does look like kind of came out of the PS2 era at times, but that is the aesthetic of this brand. So as long as you can understand that and you're good with it, it's beautiful. Expeditions all have a recommended level to them. For instance, the jungle world is recommended to start at level 5, even though you start the game at level 2 or 3. But after you've gained a few levels and you go back to that world, you are able to increase the level of the monsters you encounter. So even though you may only see the jungle land as an initial place to visit, you can go back and continue that gameplay loop and that grind in the same environment. During those expeditions, you'll run into world events. It might be that all of a sudden there's a bunch of a single type of enemy released and you've got to capture enough of them before too many escape. It could be that there's a boss that just comes up out of the lava and is ready to kill you. Hopefully I'm playing that clip right now. If not, check it out on Twitch. But there's a good variety here and helps break up the general grind you're going for with the expeditions and the orders. When you finally reach the end of the expedition, you face a boss. You're able to heal right before that boss, so you're going in at full strength, but the bosses are difficult. These expedition bosses have what you would generally expect from bosses nowadays in MMOs. It's generally a closed arena that you fight them in, and they may choose to jump around the arena, they may choose to initiate single-person attacks, AoE attacks, they can spawn in adds to deal with, there's sometimes environmental demands you have to deal with, or specific ways to get the boss to stop attacking or come closer to you. Again, all standard stuff nowadays, but this is a 7-year-old game, so it's great to see that all of this was either implemented after release or from the very beginning. But of course, you don't have to do any of these expeditions alone. The game is pretty forceful in that it wants you to be in a group. It forces you to accept or decline group matchmaking when you accept an expedition. Then you get another opportunity in between accepting the quest and actually taking it on. And then if you still choose to be alone, if you're insistent on being alone, you can actually have NPCs come with you. The NPCs that join you have their own leveling system, can give you gifts for using them often. It's actually great to find them out in the world and then talk to them consistently. You stay engaged with the characters that you're questing with, rather than just humans. So it's really cool. PSO2 has been around the block, so it's intimidating just how many systems are available in the game. You've got these chat systems where you actually design something for other players to see that they can then copy that and use it in chat themselves. You've got crafting everywhere. Your guild can get a ship and then you can be on that ship. I still haven't dove into that, but there's a whole guild system there. You've got just everything you would expect from a AAA MMORPG on the console and for free. So there's not much to complain about there. If you've seen my preview of Bless Unleashed, you'll know that that game also has a wide variety of systems from day one. So I'm looking forward to comparing their execution between them, as well as just which one is easier to use as a player or better adapted into the game. These are very deep games coming to the Xbox. One negative for me is undoubtedly the story. I mean, it's generally delivered well. You're someone with mysterious powers who's chasing someone mysterious in the world who's doing mysterious things for mysterious reasons. It's anime, right? But the way it's delivered is rough around the edges. You've got your expedition quests and your orders and a variety of other subquests, but your main quests are their own line item in the quest system. And when I went to explore this, I found that it's mostly cutscenes. You mash the X button to move on in the conversation. You may face a boss fight, but it's independent of all other quests and independent of your level. You can do the whole main story, supposedly, according to the tutorial, without having to deal with the expeditions and the core gameplay loop. It's a little strange, and, again, the quality of the story is great with the voice acting and with your character being a part of those cutscenes, your character being the one true whatever. It's all good stuff, but the delivery is divorced from the rest of the game. It makes you feel as if it doesn't matter to the game. And for some people that's okay. Maybe you're just looking to be a part of this Phantasy Star world and you want to be in that world with other people. Maybe you prefer the instanced quest system and you prefer being able to take NPCs with you. Again, you'll enjoy all those aspects, but the main story being its own thing and kind of pushed away is a bit strange to me. Others of you may play Phantasy Star Online 2 for Fashion Star. The character creator is extremely detailed with Phantasy Star Online 2. Not only are there race and class choices, but then you can individually customize exactly what your character needs to look like. Most of the settings are based on sliders, so you can slide to exactly what looks most appealing to you. For those of you who like role-playing, this is a huge plus for you in the game. Race and class choice generally doesn't matter. There are some slight advantages towards whether you're better at dealing technical damage, whether you have more or less health, but that's best saved for min-maxers. If you're a savant at creating characters, you can upload these to a fashion book that other people can then download and utilize. At the time of writing, D.Va from Overwatch is one of the most popular characters people are downloading, as well as this monstrosity over here. Let's just say you can be whatever you want to be, alright? If you've played Final Fantasy XIV, you're familiar with the ability to play as any class on one character. Phantasy Star Online 2 also has this system. You can play any of the 9 available classes up to level 75 on a single character. Beyond that, you can select a main class, and once you've gone far enough in the story, a subclass that you also play on as that character. All of the levels and buffs, with some exceptions, will apply to your character and enhance your ability in combat. Man, I didn't even touch on the skill trees. They're big. They're huge. They've got a lot of depth and breadth to them, and you know what? I've just been pressing the recommended skills button. I'll admit it. I hit the one button, it fills in the best skills for me, and I go with it. You should try it too. If 9 classes wasn't enough for you, every class has multiple weapons. I've been favoring the gunner class, which prefers SMGs, but at the touch of a button, I can pull out an assault rifle. One more button press, and I've got a gunblade, so I can get up close and personal with the enemies. Each of those weapons can have their own skill loadout and their own item loadout. Or you can have multiple loadouts for one weapon. The level of customization and personalization in PSO2 is just insane. All of these skills and weapons and races and classes, they're all animated beautifully. Anime style, but it's beautiful. The world itself sometimes is a little janky. I mentioned earlier it looks like it came on PS2, but that is the Phantasy Star style. So as long as you can get past that, there is still a lot to like here. I know I'm gabbing on and on. There's seriously a lot to unpack about Phantasy Star Online 2. I haven't even reached level 75 on a single class, not to mention going into multiple classes. Phantasy Star Online 2 is going to bring 3 years of content on launch. That means 3 years of things that people in Japan had to wait for that we will get day one. That still leaves 3 to 4 years of content that can still be brought to us in the future. Monetization is a cash shop. Look, I'm not going to call it pay to win, but there is pay to make the game easier. You can buy things such as revives, so you can revive yourself in the field without issue. You can pay for things like experience boosts and gold boosts. It makes it quicker for you to play the game, but it doesn't give you more power necessarily. If you get to level 75 and somebody else is level 75, you're going to have generally the same power. They might have just paid some money to get there a little quicker. So if you're against that, putting it out there is a fair warning. But for most players, you can generally ignore this. I got several boosts for free just by playing the questing game. There's seriously a lot to learn and do here in PSO2. So I want to give it more time before I do a full review. Hopefully this preview was helpful. Next week you will be seeing a video of me comparing PSO2 to Bless Unleashed, both on the Xbox One. I hope to understand more about the games, as well as more about the future of the games, so you know where to invest your time. Playing an MMO is like a second job, or even second life for some people to live. So it's really important that you invest time properly, and you play something that's worth it to you. Generally, my first impressions of PSO2 are positive. This is a huge game that's only going to get bigger. There's a lot brought to the table, lots of systems to dive into. You can play multiple classes on one character, which means really endless gameplay there. There's a lot that solidly hits home. You have to like anime style, but it solidly hits home. So far so good with PSO2. Not your style? Fair enough. But for a lot of players, this is going to be a great game. So more to come for PSO2. Stay subscribed to stay notified. And until then, this has been Bronze Dad Plays. This is my preview of Phantasy Star Online 2. And check out more previews right there. Till next time, see ya.